It be showtime.
The Sportz Nuts are back.
You are now listening to the Sportz Nutz.
Welcome, everybody, to the greatest sports talk show ever. It is the Sportz Nuts. Happy April 1st. As we like to say, April Fool's Day. We hope you guys had a fantastic weekend, a fantastic week so far. I am back. Yes, I did not come on Monday because I am hurting, but I got some good news today with me. I actually have been officially discharged from home health care. I'm going to start going to in-person physical therapy 4 times a week. Can't wait for that one. This knee, yep. And by the way, Shane, you want to hear something really cool, man? I actually walked yesterday and today. I'm really pleased with myself. But yeah, we have a absolute stacked episode. As you see, our guy below us is here. Tony, who is from the Wire to Wire Sports Network, is here. He is joining us because it's baseball. It's here. We were originally going to do round 2 of the NFL mock draft, but a lot of good sports news came on, so I wanted to go right into it. Make sure my mic, there you go, my mic's a little louder, but I want to give a shout out to 95.5 KFCE, Tiger Nation Live, and the other 8 radio stations that we air on, as well as the 40 countries we also air. And thank you guys so much for that. It really does. I promise you, it means the world to my man Shane, man. Happy hump day, as you like to say. Everything goes downhill from here. Any good pranks you played today?
I played a couple. You know, we got a couple of football fans there at work. One Lions fan, and one Cowboys fan, and I
Boy.
got them. I got them both with the. Hey, did you hear AJ Brown was traded to you guys? I said, you want to know the conditions? And they said, what's the conditions? I said, April's Fools. But I had to slip a couple others in at work with a couple other people. You know, keep it light, you know, and enjoyable there in the workplace. But man, you know, I always say it's the middle of the week and it's downhill from here. But man, we've got a good reason to celebrate this weekend with the holiday coming up, so it's just tomorrow, and then that's the end of the work week for me at least. So hopefully everybody else out there can enjoy a holiday and Good Friday, and you know, a true story that everybody needs to listen to when it comes to the Easter holiday in general. I know we all love the food, but man, the message is great, and all that. So man, I'm just looking forward to that family time. Maybe even a little bit of golf, depending on the rain.
Maybe.
Definitely looking forward to a holiday weekend with family and friends to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Definitely looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to tonight's episode, man. With Tony on here, man. We always enjoy it. Have a couple good laughs, as always. But man, first week of the season's down, and I'm ready to get into it with them.
That's right. Absolutely. Real quick, we have a couple of announcements today. One literally just happened about an hour ago. The Artemis 2 launched. It took 4 astronauts. They are going to slingshot actually around the moon. It's going to be a 10-day trip. But everything was smooth sailing. It was really cool. I want to say congratulations, not only to you, Shane, to Tony, to everybody, because this is something that has never happened in all of our lifetimes. Well, I mean, if you're over the age of 50, then it has. The last time they sent astronauts to the moon was over 50 years ago. So congratulations indeed to us all getting to experience something that is so monumental. My kids were glued to the TV. We ran outside. They saw you can see it was like a little white speck, and it was probably about 15 seconds long, but you saw it and you can see a little bit of the trail behind it. But it was really cool to see it take off. I did post it on my Facebook page. But yes, Artemis 2 has taken off. And also, we have a new member of the network. Not the show, but the network. Our good friend, and you guys saw him on here. He was part of the mock draft, but his name is Tim Collins of Answer. This is him. Answer the call. I want to say welcome to the Sportz Nutz Network. You will see him from time to time, not every time, just from time to time. He will fill in for me, for Shane, for Matt, for Ben, whomever. He will come on once in a while, but it's more for us to take him under our wing and help him grow. So I want to give a special shout out to him. So my man sitting below me, he has waited so patiently. Tony, man, happy win. About to say Friday. You saw that? I'm about to say Friday, but happy Wednesday, man. You made it. Did you get to play any pranks on anybody today?
I did make a video on TikTok this morning where I said that Aaron Judge was suspended for using PEDs. Unfortunately, it did not take off.
Darn.
I would say it probably because of what I called the supplement that he tested positive for. But because this is going to be on radio, I'm going to go ahead and not say what I said. And you can just go to my TikTok at FGD with 7 spelled out, at FGD7, and watch the video for yourself. Tell me what you think.
Absolutely. I can't wait. So I wanted to also reiterate, Tim, like I said, he's commenting, but I want to let everybody know, like I said, he will be once in a while filling in. We're literally teaching him to become a better sports broadcaster. So really honored with him. But Tony, man, I'm going to get right into it. And I'm about to say, Tony, my brother, welcome back, and I hope you're doing well. We have all been treated to actually some pretty darn good baseball this opening weekend, whatever you want to call it. I really don't give a darn. But we had a bottom of the ninth grand slam walk-off for their first game ever as an Atlanta Brave, actually like a week after his mom passed away. We have seen some teams who should have won lose, and we saw teams that should have lost, they won. So if you could give us your overall grades for the first week of baseball and what stood out to you the most.
I think that for baseball being back, definitely an A. We haven't seen a lot of huge issues, obviously, and I'm sure we're going to get into it. Some stuff with CB Buckner and stuff like that, which I know he left the game early today. I hope he's okay. He took a foul tip to the mask and had to leave the game. But I outside of the stuff with that, it was just great for baseball to be back. We saw a lot of good stuff. I didn't see anything that super caught me off guard. I think the walk-off grand slam for the Braves against the Royals, I think that was a pretty monumental thing. And not just for the grand slam, but that entire ninth inning, I think really showed, because the Royals led that entire game. And for the Braves to clean it up and get right and get in the ninth. They only had given up 2 runs throughout the game. So they were in a good position to be able to do what they did. And then they got a run in, they got another run in, and then the grand slam happened. So it wasn't just something that happened all in one fell swoop and swing. It was something where they had to grind it out and really work for that win. And I think that's good for the Braves, because if this is going to be the rebounding season that it's supposed to be, that's the kind of behavior that we're going to need to see from them all season.
Absolutely. And I also want to point out, folks, if you guys don't remember, Tony said this, said this actually a few episodes ago, and we asked him, what are your expectations to start the season? He said, you're going to see more offense than pitching. And this is my absolute favorite text message that came from Tony. And I go, well, Tony, you hit the nail on the head. And he goes, I hate being right. I died laughing when he said that, because this has been the offensive juggernauts that we are expected to see. When we're not seeing so much with the pitching, Tony, you know this. We saw potentially one of the greatest pitchers of our generation right now, and Paul Skeens absolutely struggle. He did good today. He did good. He did. He definitely rebounded today, but it's just so weird to see some of these absolute, out of your mind pitchers struggling. All right, Shane, you have a question, man. The floor is yours, sir. You got to unmute your mic. There you go.
Oh yeah, man, Tony. Thanks again for coming on the show with us, man. We really enjoy it, and me, of course, is more of a baseball guy. Man, we've got some great baseball questions for you, and you've got some great answers for us. So that's definitely great to see. But as we've talked about before, me and you, I posed a question a few episodes ago. The ABS challenge system is in place for the regular season in the MLB this year. And as we've seen, about 68% of the pitchers and catchers have successfully challenged calls, and about 56% of the hitters have successfully challenged calls. I know we're only a week into it, but as far as the ABS challenge system goes, what are your thoughts on it? And I know you said it, so I'm just going to bring it up. What are your thoughts on the next Angel Hernandez and CB Buckner going on?
So we're going to start with that second part first, because
I was hoping you were going to say that.
So the game that was brought up about CB Buckner that was before today, it was his first game behind the plate of the season, and it was a Red Sox game. So I watched every pitch. And the thing that I want to point out, and this was something that John Boy brought up, and he did a breakdown of this game. That's how bad CB Buckner was behind the plate. There was a total of 20 missed calls that could have been successfully challenged in that game. And I understand that we have the ABS challenge system for a reason, but at this point, CB Buckner has been corrected by the ABS challenge system so many times they are legally married in 28 states. For me, it's a case of we're using this to make sure we get it right every call, but when we have umpires that are doing so bad, we have to use it every call. It starts to call into question the people that are saying that we should be taking the human element out of calling balls and strikes and have it be completely automated, which I don't think that's the case. But umpires like CB Buckner make it difficult. And then when you look at, but the other thing is you have to look at the argument, is CB Buckner the problem? Because there was that situation that went viral last night where CB Buckner said a player didn't touch first. He wasn't even looking when it happened. And then he called the player out, and it was very quickly overturned by a challenge. But that's a problem that shouldn't happen. So I hope that, obviously, and like I said earlier, I know he was injured today behind the plate. I don't wish injury on anybody. I hope that he is okay. I send him the best. But as far as his performance goes, the league has to be looking at this. But the ABS challenge system as a whole, I think, is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And I think that there's going to be some people that argue, like yesterday, I think it was, Judge challenged a pitch that might have been in by the depth of the stitches from the actual skin of the ball. It was in the strike zone, so it still got called. And I mean, it did its job, so I can't criticize that part of it. But the question becomes, do we then are we going to see the league evaluate the rule on how much of the ball has to be in the strike zone for it to be considered a strike? And you don't want that to happen. Honestly, you don't want that to happen because it's going to muddy things even more, and it's really going to make the game more difficult to umpire and officiate in general. So I hope that they don't, but you just have to look at this, and with all the things that the league has done, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets evaluated at some point where they ask that question, should they consider it? But overall, the ABS challenge system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. I was right. We're not seeing as much pitching. We're not seeing things in the way of pitching right now because the pitchers are getting used to the new zones, and you're not trying to pitch the zone that the umpire keeps. You're trying to pitch for the ABS system because that's what's ultimately going to decide your success or failure. So as that adjusts towards the middle of the season, we're going to start to see things shift. We probably won't see a no-hitter until later on in the year. If we see one at all, there's years where that doesn't happen, but it's an adjustment period. But I think overall it's doing what it's supposed to.
Absolutely. I'm actually I was against it at first, but I'm actually for it. Shane, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, well, just to touch on the CB Buckner point, I forget who it was, but it was a San Diego Padre, but he had gotten called out on his first at bat on a pitch that was completely off the plate and all by CB, and then got his first major league hit later on in the game. He goes down to first base, and the first baseman says, "Hey man, you made it to the majors." He's like, "Oh yeah, my first hit." He's like, "No, you got CB'd already." That were. Oh, I thought it was pretty good that we were kind of talking about that, and pretty interesting story. But my next question for you, I know you and Brandon touched on the Skeens thing, but we spoke about some team grade things, and I want to hear your thoughts on a couple of the players that have had some key moments so far this first week into the MLB season. And I'll go ahead and give you a list of about 4 of them. If you need me to repeat any of them, just let me know. But one of them will be of Skeens chased off the mound in that first start. What are your thoughts on that? Number 2, Shohei last night, 6 scoreless in his pitching debut since coming back off an injury. Number 3, the World Baseball Classic roster and the unimaginable slump that they're in right now after coming off of actually playing competitive baseball. And number 3, the rookies making noise. You got on the offensive side, Murakami, DeLautner, and Fernandez with the home run streaks that they have. And then Painter last night with Philly with the 8 Ks and just over 5 innings of work.
That's what I was going to say. Dang it.
Kind of what are your thoughts on that? And if you need any help, I got you on a couple.
No, you're good. It's I watched the Skeens outing because I love watching baseball, so I don't have to be watching the Sox to enjoy it. And it wasn't necessarily that he wasn't locating or anything like that. It was that team, the Mets were seeing the ball really. I think it was the Mets they were playing. They were seeing the ball really well. And to me, that's an important thing to remember. Is it's very easy for us to look at a stat line, see that he only went 2/3 of an inning. His ERA for that game was something like 64. And start to think that they just hit him out. They did, but it was because of their ability. It wasn't necessarily anything like Skeens could have located better. His timing looked a little bit off, and I think that I know we're going to touch on the failures of the World Baseball Classic roster, but I think that he definitely has a little bit of a hangover, so to speak, from the WBC, and maybe he's feeling a certain way about the fact that he's gone back to the team behind him that he has and not the roster that he had behind him in the World Baseball Classic, which is, very, shockingly different. But I think that he made a great recovery today. His ERA is at like 9 now. So a few more starts and then everything will be back where it should be as far as his numbers are concerned. I still think he's a Cy Young candidate every time he steps on the mound. And, we got to think about it with the way that these guys had to start. This is that slump that some of the more experienced guys hit in like late April, early May for a few weeks where they're kind of just off. And I think that's what it is for a lot of these guys on the World Baseball Classic roster because they had to start quick. They were playing meaningful baseball in March, which is kind of a shock to the system for what they're used to. These guys are all routine. They're used to feeling a certain way and moving at a certain pace so that when October baseball comes, if you're the type that's going to be playing October baseball, you're in that prime mode in that time when it needs to be. And so I think for these guys, they're kind of just coming down from that. I think that we'll start to see them pick up in another week or so. I think that we're really going to start to see some consistency out of those guys with their teams. Shohei pitching 6 innings last night and being scoreless. I thought it was fantastic. I'm glad that Shohei is great as a pitcher and as a hitter. It's not something that we see very often now, especially with the DH rule, but also even back when pitchers could still hit because of National League teams. You didn't see a lot of really good hitting pitchers. And so it makes it more difficult, at least to me, to completely appreciate it because it's just not something that's very common. So it's great to see, but it's not as, there's something about it that just isn't as alluring to me. I think some people kind of overblow it a little bit because you should be able to hit. Pitchers have to hit in the lower levels, so they should be able to keep that for when it's necessary. And I'm not saying you got to have Clayton Kershaw in the batting cages every day, but if you need to put him up in a pinch situation, he should be able to pick up a bat and at least get on base. But I also don't think Shohei should be pitching starting. I think Shohei should be a closer. He's already had 2 Tommy John surgeries. And if you blow out this arm, you are putting a huge risk in the $750 million that you're giving him if you're the LA Dodgers. And don't get me wrong, I like the closer that the Dodgers have, but I think that if you had Shohei as your DH and then you bring him in as your closer, you give him a super cool entrance like Mason Miller gets now, which great choice of a song for Blind, by the way. You give him something like that, and you can really sell the show of Shohei Ohtani at that point. And you're going to get supreme pitching for 25, 30 pitches, and you're keeping that arm for longer. Because right now, even 6 innings every 5 days, that's going to wear it down a lot quicker. And that scares me for the investment that the Dodgers have made here.
Oh yeah,
a possible playoff Game 7 starter.
Yes,
or like a starter like in the pen, and available, but could be a starter in those playoff series if you have a pen game.
That's perfect.
You also just said that too, Tony, that you could see him going to. You'd rather see him go to closer. Remember John Smoltz? He went through the exact same situation, blew his arm out almost, and it looked like his career was all but dead. And then he goes into the pen, and he gets 300 wins and he gets 300 saves. That's pretty phenomenal. And his career was extended for quite a while because of him going to the pen. And you're right. Give Shohei that opportunity because. I don't like the Dodgers. I'm pretty sure there's quite a few people who don't like them either because they're the buy here, pay here. They buy everybody kind of thing.
Right.
But you investing $750 million on an arm and a bat. If he blows that one more time, you're done. There has never been a story for someone to come back from 3 Tommy John surgeries. There's never been a comeback story of that. And it is Shohei. So he is this ungodly baseball player. So there's a possibility he does tear it again that he could come back. But I'm not going to want to put that type of risk on there thinking, oh yeah, man, we need to win another World Series, another pennant. But who cares if our greatest pitcher blows his arm? It's right. Absolutely stupid. So Tony, I'm gonna give you a couple of stats here, and you're gonna probably. I want you to tell me if this is head scratcher. All right, so we're gonna look at the NL East: 5-1, 4-2, 3-3, 3-3, and 3-3.
Let me interject real quick. NL East, first division in MLB history to start the season 1-0, all 5 teams.
Yes. See but you heard me run down the records. All right. So Tony, when was the last time you could sit there and say, man, the Miami Marlins, they're doing the thing right now. I mean, they're 5-1. Yeah, albeit it's still only 6 games in the season, but what is your overall impressions literally of every division? There was a crazy stat line that came on ESPN today about the Athletics. This is their worst start since 1920. And that's crazy. So what are your overall thoughts though on every division leader right now?
The Miami Marlins leading the NL East does shock me. And I don't think that's something that is taboo to say, but something else that I think is important that I don't think is getting talked about, because a stat that I like that personally tells me a lot about a team is run differential. Because are you in a lot of close games? Are you blowing people out? Are you losing? Are you losing really far? Like, I want to see like what kind of a team you are when we look at a sample size. And there is only one team in all of the American League that has a higher run differential than the Marlins. And that's obviously the New York Yankees. And then when we look at the National League, they're second in run differential in the National League too. So, and the Brewers that are just hitting everything that comes over the plate. So like for me, it's the Marlins aren't just winning; they're also doing good defensively and keeping their opponents from scoring, which shows me that their infield isn't making a lot of errors. Their outfield is getting to the ball where they need to, and their pitching is doing exactly what they're supposed to do. So it's great. I think it would be. I think that if the NL East was literally going to be that competitive all year, I think it would be amazing baseball. I think it would be something where you would shock, because everybody expected this to kind of be what the NL West was. So if you shock the system like that, like getting into postseason time, imagine if, we're looking at tiebreakers for playoff seeding and for wild card seats in the National League. Like I think that would be really interesting to see happen, because we don't normally see that much parity. In the NL Central, the Brewers are beating the brakes off the baseball. Like, there's no other way to put it. And they're pitching really well too. So and for me, because the Brewers actually got rid of a few really good players, like Caleb Durbin that came to Boston. He was second Rookie of the Year voting. And they got rid of some good players, but they've seemed to continue building up. And so they could put some pressure on the Central, because you've got the Cubs, which a lot of people thought were going to take back over the division this year. The Cubs have started 3-3. They're playing 500 right now. They're not scoring a lot. They're keeping their opponents down, as far as they're keeping their opponents from scoring a lot, but they're also not scoring enough. And that's kind of the thing that they've got to figure out, is get their bats going. They did have a few guys in the World Baseball Classic, so they could be having a problem similar like what Boston and some of these other teams are having, like what we were talking about earlier with the World Baseball Classic hangover. That could see the clubs kind of move things up. But for right now, the AL Central, I give them about a C, because everything is pretty average. I mean, you don't have anybody that's negative, but everything is pretty average right now. For the NL West, I give them a D, because the Giants, the Rockies, and the Padres have all had some disappointing outings over the last week. The Giants specifically, I was really disappointed with how they handled things against the Yankees, and that they should have been better, and they got ate up. The D-backs are starting a little better than they normally do. Normally it takes them a little bit to get going. But I mean, and obviously then the Dodgers, obviously 4-1, they're going to be a force all year, but the Dodgers aren't scoring a lot of runs right now. The reason they're winning is because of their pitching. So If you are an
So
AL West team,
basically they're doing the completely opposite of everybody else. They're doing good with their pitching, they're struggling with their bats, and everybody else is sort of struggling with their pitching, but they're doing darn good with their bats.
right? To a point, there's definitely a lot of You're pretty correct. So, but if you're an AL West, or if you're an NL West team or just a National League team in general, trying to make sure you're in a better position than the Dodgers, just get your offense going, and if you get to face the Dodgers, hit them hard, hit them fast. That's going to be how you beat the Dodgers this year. When we will move over to the American League, for the AL East, it's about a C. The Yankees are starting exactly how one would expect the Yankees to start, as with the Blue Jays, who just got better in the offseason. The Orioles, we knew they got better. We knew they were actually going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. The Rays, nobody expects anything out of the Rays. They're pretty much doing exactly what we expected. The Red Sox have struggled, but the Red Sox had like 7 or 8 players in the World Baseball Classic. So I think that there is a correlation there. And we'll see, because their pitching is allowing a lot of runs. And so, but they're not really getting a lot of offense right now either, because the bats are tired and the pitching is inconsistent. So, and yes, this is my own team that I'm talking about right now. I think Boston gets going though, but it's going to take a little bit. We look at the Central, the AL Central. I give them a C as well, simply because there's just it's a very basic play out of the AL Central. Like the Twins and the White Sox, we knew they were going to struggle. They are what we knew they were going to be. But with the Tigers, the Guardians, and the Royals, there's not really a true competitor. Like none of the 3 of them even have a positive run differential. The best run differential in that division is the Tigers, and it's at 0. They're the only ones that aren't negative. So I actually, I'm gonna change my grade. I give the I give the Central a D, because there should be a lot more out of this. There's not a lot of run production. There's a lot of scoring being allowed. I'm really not feeling how that division is going. The AL West, they get a B. The Astros are starting strong offensively, but they're also giving up a lot of runs. The Rangers, the same. The Mariners and the Angels, the Angels are actually starting better than I expected. And the Mariners, I kind of expected this. They're going to be a slow start team. And then with the Athletics, I knew they were going to be bad, but this is kind of disappointing. There's a lot of talent, because there's a lot of young talent on that team. And so I would have expected, 2-4, maybe 5, maybe 3-3, 500, 6 games in. But they're allowing a lot of runs, so their pitching isn't doing its job, which, a lot of their talent is on the fielder side. So, but they're not putting bat to ball. So, yeah, the West though, because of what we're getting out of the Astros, the Rangers, even the Mariners and the Angels, and the fact that they're actually doing something, I will give the AL West a B, and the NL East, they definitely get an A, because that's we've seen some stellar baseball out of all those teams. So yeah, for sure.
And just so you know, how about I say Oakland? Just so you know, Athletics, you can send us Brett Roker anytime you want to the Atlanta Braves. We'll be happy to take him off your hands for you. Just give him the opportunity. All right, Shane, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, well, Seven, man, great to have you on again, man. We really do have a great time, and as everybody out there sees, we have a few good laughs. Kind of keep it lighthearted. So I know we got into some serious kind of baseball talk, especially with it being the first week of the season. But I want to go on kind of a lighter note. I know we've talked a little bit about kind of the ballpark foods that we enjoy during the season, but I want to get your thoughts on some of the signature items that we see now with these major league ballparks. Be it the astronomical prices that you may pay for them there, but we see some signature items. One, we saw the Cubs roll out the chicken and churros this year, which is churros with chicken thighs, topped in powdered sugar, served with strawberries.
That sounds really good, actually.
Looks pretty good. Chicken and waffles is great with some hot honey, but so definitely one to try. I mean, the Marlins debuted the machete, which is a 2-foot long quesadilla.
Holy moly! Oh,
It's massive.
dadgum.
Like it sits across people's laps. I saw a picture of that. That was actually the first one of that one that I had seen when I saw that picture, and it's massive.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
That and then you see more ballparks. They're rolling out more of the 9.99 challenges, which I've participated in. Normally the
Not
9
surprised on that one,
beverages.
Shane.
Normally the 9 beverages go down by about the 5th inning. But then your Red Sox, they got the lobster. The lobster poutine.
Lobster.
Oh no, it's spelled that way as well. It's LOBSTAH. Lobster poutine. So just kind of your thoughts on kind of signature food items and stuff that we've seen this year, and being it that every team's kind of doing it now to kind of promote something in the stadium.
I think that I want to say first on the 999 challenge. Well, I love that ballparks are leaning into this. I think it's fantastic. There are a few things to be concerned about with this. That's 9 beers in 3 hours. Our average game time is 2:45 to 3 hours. So that's 9 beers for 3 hours.
Slow night.
So, I mean, for those of us that aren't heathens, that is a very busy night. I don't know what he's talking about. I drink bourbon all the time, so I can't really judge. But no, I think that the biggest complaint that I've seen people talk about is because you do the 999 thing, they give you all 9 beers at once. And so unless you're like slamming those beers, it's going to be warm by the time you get to it. And even if, you're an hour and a half in the 5th inning, if you have a beer sitting there in a cup for an hour and a half, it's not cold anymore. So like for me, that kind of kills it. And then the hot dogs sit there and get cold and stuff like that. So I get why they're doing it. And I don't want to criticize that. But I think that there should be a way where you could be like, okay, if you want this, we'll give you this. Or if you want to pay for everything now, but you just come up and get it as you're ready, we'll give you a wristband or something.
Yeah, wristband. Put a wristband on.
I think that to me, I think would be more effective because then you're getting a fresh hot dog, a fresh cold beer. To me, that's better. Now, as far as the ballpark foods are concerned, I think this is a great thing because, for me, anytime I go to a baseball game, it's an experience. And when you when you have these different types of food at each ballpark, it's something that makes that ballpark unique, especially because there's a growing number of individuals that want to go to every ballpark. So now as you have those individuals come in, you've got that's extra revenue that you can get from them because they're going to want to try that park's signature thing, but you're also getting something that makes the experience at that park unique. So I think it's great. Like for me, honestly, the lobster poutine, I think it was great for Boston, but the one at the Astros at Dakin Park, it's they call it brisket donuts. It's 2 fried brisket donuts with barbecue sauce, mac and cheese, with barbecue sauce and mac and cheese.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
Like I love barbecue, and like as a fat kid, like I would dive into that.
As a fat kid.
There's a lot of ballparks that are doing donut inspired stuff. Like I think the Phillies have the Schwarber Slammer or something like that with the donut, or Schwarber Sundae with donuts and ice creams and fruity pebbles.
Oh my God!
There's a bunch of them doing donut.
My blood sugar just went through the roof. You say that.
Listen to this one though. The one that I think is the funniest though is at Coors Field where Colorado Rockies play. They have introduced the Glizilla. It's a 2-foot, 1-pound hot dog.
I was wondering where that was. Yes. Oh my God! I saw that thing was a monster.
I thought it was hilarious. Like it's a big hot dog. If you see it, like if you look at pictures of it, like it's massive.
It's huge.
But it doesn't look bad either. Like and that's the thing. Coors Field, like the Rockies suck, but like it's actually a good ballpark to go watch a game. The fans are supportive. The environment's great. I highly recommend it. But a 2-foot hot dog. Like, that's
No.
just hilarious to me.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, me as an avid golfer, I mean, there's nothing like a glizzy at the turn, as we like to say. But man, Tony, we really appreciate you coming on with us, man. Can you let everybody out there listening and watching with us tonight know kind of all your socials, where to find you, and kind of what you got coming up on your networks?
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern on the Wire Sports Networks, I host podcast named Deferred. So if you're seeing this on Wednesday, tonight's 10 p.m. Eastern. Tonight, we are going to be talking about the lawsuit with Alec Bohm and his parents. Just update on where the teams are at, talking about the first week, and really just kind of getting things going with the start of the season. Monday nights, I'm on the Sports Report podcast, 10 p.m. Eastern, again with the Wire to Wire Sports, talking all things NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and whatever else we talk about. It usually goes off the rails about 30 minutes in and nothing makes sense after that, but it's still sports related. Every morning on TikTok, again, at FGD7, where 7 is spelled out SEVEN. You can catch the MLB Morning Minute. And, in light of, there's been a few different news stories recently that have, had a mental health emphasis. So I'll say this. One of the shows that I do, the FGD, in my TikTok name, as First Generation Dad. It's a baseball. It's not baseball. It's mental health, parenting, trauma. I have complex PTSD, and I talk about that stuff a lot. Well, one of the things that I have created is on Spotify. If you search 30 Reasons to Live, number 30 followed by Reasons to Live, 30 reasons I'm glad I didn't unalive myself when I was in that position where I felt like that was my only option, and some music that helps me when I'm struggling. So. Use it for yourself. Use it for somebody that's not in a good place. I created it as a resource. This is not something I'll ever make money off of. Please share that out for anybody that needs it as well, because it's there as a resource. And take care of your mental health.
His name is Tony Gladstone, aka 7. You can find him on podcast named Deferred. Tony, man, we will see you not next week, but we'll see you the week after. But man, I appreciate you coming on, brother, and I'll watch your show tonight. Take care, man. All right.
Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good night.
All right. All right, Shane, let's get into it. It's this every time I say this, it's going to get in my head. It's the final countdown. Both the NHL and the NBA regular seasons are winding down, and they're getting really, really, really hot. We're on the verge of seeing a whole bunch of 100-plus point teams in the NHL, which, by the way, a team did it last night for the first time since 2009, which was the Buffalo Sabres. But Carolina, Tampa, Minnesota, Colorado, just to name a few. And here's the crazy part. While the West, it's almost completely been determined. We know who's the number one seed is in the entire NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, which it will be Colorado. They're going to win the President's Trophy because of their point total. But the East, it's a dogfight. It really is. Now, I'm going to throw away our bias on this one because, I'm a diehard Lightning fan. You're a diehard Carolina fan. We know that very well. So I'm which teams in the East, and I'm going to put – I was going to put the teams up on here, but I'm not going to. But I'm going to read them out to you. Have a real chance to winning that number one seed in the East. And here's the teams that are in the thick of it. Okay, Shane? The number one is the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're at 98 points right now. And they do currently own the tiebreaker over Buffalo due to head-to-head matchup, even though Buffalo has 100 points. Then the next one behind them is Buffalo Sabres. They just got their 100 points. Montreal Canadiens at 94, actually 96. Carolina Hurricanes, they're at 100 points as well. The New York Islanders, they're still in the thick of it at 89. The Pittsburgh Penguins are 88 points. The Boston Bruins and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Out of those 8, who do you think can seriously win the number one seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs for the Stanley Cup?
Well, kind of as you said, Buffalo, Carolina are sitting there atop the standings right now, but both with 100 points. So that's great to see. And Carolina, I think has one more win than them at this moment. They still have one less game to play than them, though. So it's going to come down to a shootout here at the last part of the season coming in. Buffalo is probably the hottest team right now in the Eastern Division. One of my biggest takeaways that I see from their year that I think kind of would give them the edge over other Eastern teams is they have 0 shutout losses this year. So even in their losses, they've at least scored 1 goal. So that's something big to see, especially when you get down into the playoffs, when goal scoring really does mean something. You got to play defense all the time, no matter what. But goal scoring throughout the year that's just natural, kind of brings itself to fruition there in the playoffs. As a homer, Carolina is probably the hottest defensive team in the Eastern Conference right now. They're known to be a scrappy team. Mentioned it last year as they were going into the wild card. And eventually advancing past, I believe it was the Devils last year in the first round. It's great to see this kind of jam-packed kind of deal. Not only are we looking at the top of the Eastern Conference, but the wild card spots that get into the Eastern Conference playoffs is just outstanding.
It's anybody's game there.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're talking about realistically only about 3 teams. Pittsburgh has an outside chance to get in that conversation for one of the top seeds in the East. But realistically, when you're coming down to the top of the East, it's going to be between Carolina, Buffalo, and Tampa Bay. That's kind of where we are this season, and those have, other than Buffalo going on their streak here, in the past couple of weeks, since kind of their little break that they had, it's anybody's game. But man, as you mentioned, the Sabres, the first time since 2009 getting 100 points. Only the 5th time in franchise history for the Carolina Hurricanes to get 100 points. So it's definitely going to be great to see the rundown to the playoffs. And man, I'll be watching for sure.
Like I said though, first off, Shane, I hate that we only have a week and a half left of both NBA and NHL. I'm like, we had this discussion sometimes. It's like you get into it and then dadgum, the season says, haha, we're done. And it's not fair. It's never fair. When you're getting to the meat of it. The team that I'm definitely I'm really watching out for, and for being a Tampa Bay Lightning guy, I'm definitely watching Buffalo. Buffalo is they're a team that you don't want to mess with because they've gotten hot at the absolute right time. However, there is a team that's also knocking on the door right behind them. They beat Tampa Bay last night, the Montreal Canadiens. They're starting to get it. They are so literally Tampa is 6-2-2 in their last 10 last 10. Okay. But Montreal is 5-3-2. And then Buffalo is 6-2-2 as well.
Yeah, I think Montreal is now on a 6-game winning streak as of today, I do believe. So,
yeah, there's something you got to watch there. The team that I think could be the team looking out. There's 2. I think Boston could be one, and I definitely think Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh could be be one of those teams that if they get in by the hair of their chinny chin chin into the wild card because they've gotten cold at the wrong time. And sports is. It's whether you're hot or you're cold, and right now they're getting cold at the wrong time. But shout out to literally if you are the hockey fan like we are, if you are the basketball fan like we are, you're going to be in for a real good treat this final week and a half of the season. All right, so let's go to the next topic. I want to say congratulations going out to Florida State women's head softball coach for earning her 1,000th victory recently. Now, she's been with the program for 18 years. I didn't know that, actually. But there have been so many great coaches out there. in the softball world that it got me thinking, can you maybe, I wasn't saying name 5, but even I'm struggling with that one. I'm a girl dad. Can you name maybe 2 or 3 who have also earned the 1,000 W's? What is everyone's hopes for the world of softball? And could we have a 32 team professional league? Remember, we have a professional softball team. That's ASUL, and they're continuing to expand. So, Shane, if you can name me 2 coaches that you know of that are the 1,000 win great, but also, do you think we are in the precedence of possibly having a 32 team professional softball team league soon?
Well, I can kind of vouch for this, and like you said, with Florida State's coach getting her 1,000th win and 18 years being with the program, there's a lot of softball coaches out there with a lot of wins, and definitely stayed with programs long. Like yeah, I did a little bit of research to get the exact number of wins, but I can name 2 or 3 right off the top of my head. Shayna Holler, she's a coach at Lenore Ryan, right down the road in Hickory. She's got let's see, I had to look up the number of wins, but 1,063 wins. Joyce Compton from South Carolina, the legendary coach there. She's got 1,066 wins, and then Dana Papa from the legendary UNC coach for, I think, from the mid '80s all the way up into the 2020s. So those are kind of a couple that I knew off the top, but because I had to look up the win totals, I got a couple more that I wanted to highlight. Patty Gasso.
I was hoping you were going to say that name.
Yeah, Oklahoma basically took over the Oklahoma program in the mid '90s and completely has transformed that program to a perennial powerhouse in the world of college softball, and has basically changed the game of college softball based on what she has done. And then one other name that I've got to mention in the research is kind of a local guy. Got to be a homer, but Chris Hawkins with UNC Upstate now. She's got they've
I got a story about that.
1,142 wins on a career. So great to see that, and if you do research like we try to do for the show, to give you guys to give you guys the best content that there is, you'd be surprised at the number of coaches that actually have over 1,000 wins in NCAA college softball.
It's a lot. It really is. I'm looking at the list, and right now it's well over 60. So yeah, it's a lot. Funny. It's funny you mentioned USC Upstate's head coach Chris. Cassie played for her.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, she told me about that. So it's pretty cool. But yes, there are so many great coaches out there. Here's what I think, and then we'll go to the next topic. I think we will see a 32 team professional softball league. I really do.
Well, I think we will eventually see it. I don't see it so far. Maybe I don't see it in the 5-10 year plan.
No.
See that 10-year plan getting maybe 24 to the 26, and then branching off further. Say in the next 15 years.
I agree.
We let the WNBA and what they're doing, with the CBA and what the league is actually doing with its kind of lull and what they had for the first 25 years. Let them kind of be at the forefront and ride those coattails, take that business model and go from there, and could definitely be extremely successful in the professional softball.
I agree 100%. All right. So now that baseball is in full swing, and it got me thinking, There's just something about going to a baseball game, something about watching a game, even if it's on TV. There's just something about it. You get to spend time with a family member, with friends, both even loved ones, young ones, old ones. They're all types of fans with related to baseball. Now they schedule some great games during some solid times of the year, like with holidays and whatnot. So it got me thinking, which holidays do you enjoy most with a sporting event? Now, I'm not just going to limit it to just baseball because, baseball is traditionally a spring, summer, part of the fall. Okay. But I want to know it can be either baseball, football, hockey, or basketball. Which one means more to you and has now it has to be professional, but it can be minor league. It can be minor league, Shane, but it has to be professional. Which one of those sports just means differently during the holiday?
Man, I'm gonna go completely off the script from you and mention a sport that you didn't even mention. But man,
Racing.
hey, of course. But definitely, the NFL, the NBA, and the MLB, with the NFL on the Thanksgiving Day games, NBA on their Christmas games, and now the NFL joining the party as well. And then, of course, Major League Baseball on the 4th of July. I mean, one of the most iconic slow motion scenes in a movie, The Sandlot, with the fireworks
Ah,
going off,
yes, the
because
Sandlot.
that's
Wait up,
that's only
guys! Eating that hot dog as he's running.
one night game a year,
Yep.
and everything. But man, the two events that for the holidays and everything that kind of gets me going the most is going to be the Coke 600 on Memorial Day weekend and the Southern 500 on Labor Day weekend. The Coke 600 on Memorial Day weekend, the Humpy Wheeler and the Charlotte Motor Speedway have done a great job. Not only putting together the longest race of the year, mileage wise and time wise, but also paying tribute to what we celebrate the holiday for. And that's not only for our military, but that's for the ones that gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. I mean, one year they even had a whole reenactment of an invasion
Oh, wow.
on the front stretch.
That's pretty cool.
Was there for that live. Great scene to see. So definitely, if you ever go, which is the longest race, so it's definitely worth the money to go. But show up early and watch the pre-race ceremonies. Every driver in the field has a fallen hero plastered across their windshield in memorandum for the race. So definitely one of the great things. And then the Southern 500 Labor Day. Man, it's kind of the Darlington being the most historical track in NASCAR, but it's also kind of the bookend to the summer. So it's the last kind of chance that you get to go out and celebrate with family and friends for an extended weekend before the colder weather starts to hit and everything else. So definitely those two, with the history and the times and what they do, just for your feelings on the holidays. That's why I had to highlight those two.
I like them. I dig them. And you're right. There's just something about certain sporting events, man, that really it hits differently. And I mean, heck, I remember going to my first ever football game with Jessica, my sister, and it was amazing. I had so much fun getting to spend time with my sister. And then also getting to go see football games with my mom, or go see basketball games, whatever. It's just something different. So I commend everybody who has had those great opportunities to experience sports during amazing holidays. Shane just alluded to a good one there too. So let us know what you guys think in the comments. Let us. You can you can always comment during the show, after the show. We are welcoming always. All right, Shane, you have a sports story to share there, buddy. Go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, well, as you all know, if you guys have been following us, which hopefully you are, we definitely appreciate it. But we love football here, and the NFL is going kind of full steam ahead for the off season. We've been doing mock drafts, but also the owners have been doing something, and they held their annual meetings down in Phoenix, Arizona this past week. And we have a possibility of a referee strike coming upon this NFL season. Another Players Association came out today and said that they want skilled individuals out there that know how to call a game and for player safety and all that. So that's kind of their stance on it. But the NFL has come out and the owners have already approved a couple rule changes for this upcoming year. A couple of those being tied to the possibility of replacement refs. So with the possibility of replacement refs, unless the CBA is done by May 31st, they will in the command center have the ability to kind of call down to the field and say, hey, this is a flag here, or hey, this shouldn't be a foul, or and stuff like that. So kind of protecting player safety at that. Another big rule change that they came out with and the owners approved on, which still has to go to the Players Association board to vote on, is for the mental health of players. We've been real big components of bringing awareness to this. As you mentioned, as Seven just mentioned, it's a constant battle that everyone kind of faces in one way or another, be it a large scale or a small scale. But now the owners have approved that a full-time clinician or full-time coverage for every player, and also kind of some different rules for injured reserve as well. But only 8 out of the 32 teams at this time comply with the rule change. But definitely, if the owners are on board, the Players Association is more than likely going to be on board with this, and it'll require all 32 teams to come compliant and help in the mental health area of the game. There's a couple of other ones, like say a penalty after a touchdown. Some coaches, which you weren't allowed to do, will opt to kick for an onside kick this year. So I mean, you get at the 25, 30, 35 or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
If they're at the 50, it's got to go at least 10 yards. So you're going to get at the 40 at the worst kind of deal, even if the other team gets it. So they want to take advantage of that. So anytime in a game now, you can announce an onside kick instead of within the last year's parameters that they had set. And then there's a couple little tweaks to the coverage teams or receiving teams, I mean, on the kickoff that they're doing. I didn't really get into specifics of that, but just kind of wanted to bring that to attention because, that plays a big role in the season. And, as we see, and as I've talked about before in a sports story, the UFL's rule changes that they've come out with this year, and you've already seen it taken into effect with a 60-yard 4-point field goal hit in the first weekend.
You yourself even said that I remember this. You said the NFL should do something similar to that, make like a 60-yard field goal or greater. You get like 4 points. You said that. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, these are in their planned owners meetings. They've approved these rule changes, but as I said, and I'll keep saying, is the UFL, their rule changes are a jumping board for NFL rule changes. So definitely interested to see how those are working in the UFL this spring and what might come to fruition there with the NFL in the fall.
Absolutely. And Ralph just hit the nail on the head, though. The NFL has messed up a lot with these special teams. It kind of, I would say probably in the mid 2000s is when it started to really become a joke. And then they extended it back to where you're kicking a 33-yard PAT, and now you're not guaranteed so much to make the PATs and whatnot. But there's always something that is a big head scratcher. It's a boneheaded situation. So yeah, you're right, Ralph. The NFL, they've got to fix things. Don't turn into what everybody knows the NFL is for, not for long or no fun league, whatever you want to call it. People, there are so many acronyms out there. So you don't want to have that always tied to you. So yeah. All right, now comes everybody's favorite segment. It is the honorable mentions. What we do is we give you 1 to 4 sports stories that the mainstream media doesn't cover enough of, or they just don't cover it. But we do. You know why? Because we're the Sports Nuts. And at the Sports Nuts, as you see right below, we're nuts about sports. All right, so my first honorable mention, shout out to all the parents / loved ones who are just now getting into practices with baseball and with softball. And also their games literally are about to start going for spring ball and for all of youth sports. It's going to be a grueling time, yes, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I am not unfortunate. I'm one of those parents that my daughter plays softball, and we are already diehard softball people here. But seeing how my daughter has really transitioned as of late, and Shane, she even has requested you to come to a couple of her games. Just telling you, she said today, can you tell Mr. Shane to come see some of my games? But with Addison, she's making severe contact. And her coach even said if we can work with her using her hips to swing, she's going to lead the league in home runs. She already has 2. So, and the season hasn't even started yet. She's only done 1 scrimmage and she already got 2 home runs. So I'm really excited for the future, but I definitely wanted to give a shout out to all the parents and loved ones who are about to sit outside in the nasty balmy heat and the 300,000 level pollen counts that are out there right now. So, but shout out to them. Shane, what is your first honorable mention, sir?
Oh yeah, well, before I get into mine, I'm gonna tag along with yours and shout out my nephews, Trip and Paxton. As you said, games are getting started. Paxton had his second game tonight. Trip had his first game last night. Oh well, second game last night, first game this past Saturday. But definitely looking forward to get down there and see a couple games. Hopefully, maybe it'll work out. I'll be able to swing the back way over through easily and catch a game too at the same time, man. But my first honorable mention is going to go out to first off all the McDonald's All-Americans that we saw compete in the games and the contest this past week. But I want to highlight a couple of McDonald's All-Americans. For McDonald's All-Americans, we're talking about high school stars in the game of basketball. One is Miss Olivia Edwards, a commit to Tennessee. That's a top-notch recruit coming out. But and not only what she can do in the women's game, but she entered the slam dunk competition. And as a former Tennessee alum, Candace Parker did in 2009, she entered it and came up. Her first dunk was a one-handed slam by herself, and then her second dunk was a alley-oop from her point guard, a Texas commit at that, at her current high school. But an alley-oop two-handed slam where she hung on the rim and did the whole Spider-Man deal.
Cool.
But she's been dunking since the 7th grade, so this is nothing new for her. But definitely shout out to that and that talent coming into the college basketball ranks next year. But the next player I want to mention is Jackson Richardson, following in his dad's footsteps. He was a slam dunk champion this year, jumping over 5 people in the finale. To dunk. And as I say, following in his father's footsteps, his dad is 2-time NBA slam dunk champion, Jason Richardson. So definitely.
I was about to say that's Jason Richardson's son.
yeah, definitely shout out to those two as well as every other high school McDonald's All-American that participated this past week.
Amen to that one. My second honorable mention is shouting out to the University of Rhode Island women's basketball program. They made the announcement that they have hired the now former head coach of Albany University, Colleen Mullen. She led Albany. She's a really, really good coach. But she is leaving Albany University to go to Rhode Island University. So congratulations. People better watch out. Rhode Island, they got themselves a surefire winner. Colleen is a great coach. And also, I want to tag along as well. I do want to give a shout out also to now the former women's Rainbow Wahine coach, University of Hawaii, Laura Beeman. She has announced her retirement from basketball. She actually is the winningest coach in UH history, with stat wise, I should say. She actually is the only coach that led UH to 3 or more NCAA tournaments in their tenure. And also, she has 17 wins all time in the Big West. This was the last time they ever play in the Big West. Thank goodness. But yeah, Laura Beeman has also announced her retirement. So women's basketball, it's forever changing landscape, but there's a lot of great coaches out there. Shane, give us your next honorable mention, please, sir.
Well, Brandon, you're going to love this one, but my second honorable mention is going to go out to the West Florida Argonauts. They are expected to announce sometime this week that they will be moving up from Division 2 to Division 1.
Yes. I told you it was coming. I remember I said it was coming too.
Yeah. We mentioned it in the stadium episode. They're in the middle of building a stadium, which will open in 2027. But they're expected to announce this week that they'll be joining the UAC in football in the FCS division, which is partnered with the WAC. And then everything else they'll be joining the ASUN, the ASUN. Is what I kind of came up with to kind of help me memorize it. But they'll be joining next year in their sports. I think Tarleton State, Abilene Christian. Yeah, there's a bunch of good schools and a bunch of great FCS football schools in the conference that they'll be joining. So definitely interesting to see, and man, great to see. As we always talk about, the smaller schools moving up and major college realignment.
Absolutely. Yep. And we told you guys it was coming, and we all laughed at us. Who got the laugh on that one? My final honorable mention, shout out to the Vegas Golden Knights for hiring John Tortorella. This guy is a true winner. He actually, everywhere he has coached, he has led them to some form of the Stanley Cup finals, just either actually the finals or to the playoffs. He was the Tampa Bay Lightning head coach for 8 years almost, and he did amazing things there. John Cooper is actually his replacement. That's how good he is. But yes, he is going to definitely turn Vegas around, bring back the winning motto that they have at Vegas. They're going to turn them around. They're going to be back to the promised land soon. But shout out to the Vegas Golden Knights for hiring John Tortorella. Shane, give us your third and final honorable mention, please.
My last honorable mention is going to go out to Charles Huff. In December, he was hired as the University of Memphis's head football coach. He gets kind of his ideology and everything from his time from the Nick Saban coaching tree. Was down in Alabama with them. But he came out this past week and said, no music at practice. Let me make sure I get this right because I'm going to quote him. He said, as part of that philosophy and everything, not only kind of the military philosophy and everything is like, well, do soldiers listen to music before they go into battle? No, they're focused on the task at hand. So kind of in that, he came out and quoted and said, if I have to play music to get you ready to play the game you love at a high level, then we've got the wrong guys. So definitely changing that program around from the start with his philosophies, mindsets, and everything coming into a program. Great to see, and also another name to add on the watch list for the Saban coaching tree.
Exactly. Oh man, that I feel like that coaching tree is like a forever long list. It's never ending.
Whatever tree comes out with the most branches ever, which I think might be a Bradford pear. Definitely Saban is a Bradford pear of college football coaching.
I will say this: that he is not the stinky fishy smell you get from those Bradford pears. Oof.
Well, he'd beat the snot out of you now.
Yeah, he will. He will beat the snot out of you, but he ain't gonna smell like a nasty dead fish. That's for sure.
No.
Oh man, God, guys, what an exciting episode we had today, y'all. We also want to give another shout out to our guy Tony for coming on. We really do appreciate him. But we have a contest that's actually going on. Now we have gotten a few submissions, but we want more. And some of them are actually pretty good from the list. Now, what we need is 1 or 2 new segments that could be permanent staples for the Sportz Nuts. You can help us by sending in your ideas. All we need is a 1-paragraph summary with a maximum of 2 paragraphs. Anything more, I'm not going to read it, I promise you. So give us ideas on what we should cover permanently. Now, if you win, we will inform you through the way that you reached out to us. You can email us. The little ticket that's going down there right now on the screen. It is Brandon Keeler on radio at gmail.com. You can message me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, anywhere else. You can even message Shane on all of his socials as well. You can message Ben Willis on all of his socials. Now I'm going to tell you can message Matt, but you have a better chance of winning the $1.6 billion lottery than you getting a response out of Matt. And yes, Matt, I just took a step. I know he's watching because I get little indications of people who watch. So he's probably thinking about laughing on that one. But you can send us a message. If you win, you will get an intro video for your time coming on the show. You get to come on one episode or one segment and debate myself, Matt, Shane, and Ben. And I can tell you, Ben's already biting at the bullet to debate with you. Ben's a good guy. We really enjoy him.
Hey, Matt doesn't answer, but you got lame comments. So.
Yeah, I get lame comments, is what he says.
Y'all even out.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to answer the lame comment, but but he don't answer anything. But yes, and then also you'll get 1 or 2 short clips for your time on the show, and then you will also be forever known as the person who helped grow the Sportz Nuts. Remember, all you got to do, email us, Brandon Keeler on radio at gmail.com. You can message us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, which is the handle is Nutty Sports Talk. You can message us on TikTok. My TikTok page is Brandon.Keeler8. Shane has one. I don't remember what it is, but you can reach out to.
Sure either.
You can reach all. You can go to any of his socials. You can go to any of Ben's, but get your submissions into us by April the 26th of this year. And good luck. It's gonna be a lot of fun on that one. We can't wait for everybody to participate. We have a lot of fun in general. And then also want to let everybody know we are about to rebrand our website, nuttysportstalk.com. We are actually going to have journalists be a part of the network as well. They are strictly just to write. They're not going to come on the show. They are only to write for sporting events. And we're going to have archived stories. We're going to archive episodes of the Sportz Nuts. They're old episodes. If you ever want to catch up, we're going to have shorts on there. Just a lot of things. We're going to have a sports store that you can go to as well for the Sportz Nuts. Just a lot of good things that are coming about with the Sportz Nuts, and we're growing at an ever rapid pace. So stay tuned for that one. We will let you guys know when it is up and going. You will see the bios from myself, from Shane, Matt, if Matt ever responds, and then Ben as well. Anybody who has partnered with us as well, you will get a chance to learn about them. So yeah, we're really excited about the direction that the Sportz Nuts is growing. Here are the upcoming episodes that you guys will want to watch. Now, we were going to have Tyler McBride on Friday, but he actually had to reschedule for the 8th of April, which is next Wednesday. But we have episode 212 this Friday on. You will see myself, Shane, Matt, and Ben. 213 will be on Monday, April the 6th. We have our good friend Kanoa Leahy, Remember, Kanoa joined us when we did episode 100, which was our last live episode we did at Live on Location. And Kanoa is with Spectrum Sports Hawaii. There's a lot he's going to talk to us about. We're really excited. I have a lot of fun with Kanoa. He's a great guy. Very legendary family, too. So you want to tune in with that one. Episode 214, like I said, Wednesday, April the 8th. We have our good friend Tyler McBride. He is with the NFL production crew. He's also a play-by-play ringside announcer for wrestling. So we're really excited about that one. So as you see, guys, we have a lot going on. And if you guys do pay attention to the intro and the outro, it even says the season of elegance is what our season is listed as. So we're going to have a lot of great things coming up. Shane is going to be doing more stuff with racing. We actually are hopefully going to hear back from this one individual who is affiliated with racing. So we should have hopefully have him on. Shane is diligently working to find big guests to come on. So if you'd like to come on, if you cover NASCAR, if you cover baseball, football, hockey, soccer, whatever, reach out to Shane too. Shane, look, I may be the founder, but Shane is my director. Shane is my right-hand man. He knows everything that needs to go. So he is not someone to bat an eye. He will absolutely get you locked in and have a lot of fun with it at the same time. Great opportunity there. So, guys, with that being said, for everybody who tuned in tonight to the show, who will be tuning in the coming days from our international crew, thank you guys so much. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already done so to our YouTube channel. Our year-end goal is 8,500. Also, if you guys can follow us on Facebook, that'd be great. We are trying to get to 2,500 followers by the end of this year. Our Twitter page, we're trying to get to 5,500 followers before the end of the year. And my TikTok page, which is currently at 2,200, I want to try and get that to 5,500. And last but definitely not least, our Instagram page, Nutty Sports Talk, is the handle. Our year-end goal is 45. We're at 1,500. So we can do that with your help. We greatly appreciate it. Now, remember also, we are on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Podbean, and Amazon. Go follow and download those episodes as well. Let us know what you think. We greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, oh, look who just joined us. Hey, man, good to see you. Yes, go Hawks indeed. They absolutely are laying the hammer down on Orlando. Currently, it's 100-72. At one point, it was like 81-50, so crazy score. But good to see you, Abe, on that one. So, Shane, give everybody your final goodbyes, sir.
Oh, yeah. As always, man, we appreciate you guys out there listening, watching all across the world now. So definitely from the bottom of our hearts, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all. So, as I always say, may the good Lord bless you. Peace, love, and bacon grease.
Peace, love, and bacon grease indeed. And as Matt always tells you, the weekend's coming up, even though he has to look at the clock to make sure it is a specific day. The weekend is coming up. You're going to want to partake in some adult libations. If you're going to drink, don't drive. Don't do something stupid because you don't want to get flagged in the game of life. And as I always tell you guys, peace up, A-Town down Y. It's the greatest sports city there ever was. Hey, you guys have a fantastic evening. Enjoy your rest of your week. I know there's a lot of you getting ready to go on spring break. My daughters are included. My wife is as well. So I want you guys to enjoy it. And we will see you on Friday at 7:30. Until then, enjoy this great outro, and we'll see you then. Goodbye.